Hi, I'm Terry Moten.
And I'm Misty Kuchka.
And we are
Empowered Women Rock.
Today's topic, boy, sit down because this is going to be a doozy. Today, what Misty and I are going to talk about is how women should be able to talk to one another, communicate with one another, have differing opinions, but not allow that to affect their friendship, affect their business, or just affect them continuing to be cordial to one another. So, Misty, what do you think about that? Because we've been talking about it for the last week.
Okay, yeah. So it has been a pretty big topic of conversation between us. We just, in the social media world, we've noticed that it happens a lot. So Terry and I are kind of in this weird space where we're really kind of gun shy when it comes to posting something because we never know how someone's going to take it. Because I just told her today I posted something and I told her that it's nothing anybody can get upset about. She's like, yeah, you watch.
Yeah, never say never, especially on social media.
Yeah, so I mean, no matter how basic something is, it blows our minds that we can't as women have conversation with each other, intellectual conversation, have a difference of opinion and respect each other for it. Because Terry and I, we have lots of differences on lots of different things. We do. There's a lot of varying opinions. She never makes me feel like my opinion is not valid, and I never make her feel like her opinion is not valid. I mean, we're obviously two opposite ends of the spectrum, but yet we are the best of friends. Right. And it's because we have that mutual respect for each other.
Absolutely. And I'll even give what I call, it's almost a silly example, but not so silly example. And this is one of the reasons why I really appreciate Misty. And I was sharing this story yesterday with somebody. But in Misty's office, she has some great decorations. I mean, just absolutely beautiful, some great decorations. So as we were doing some of our first filming, and you can even go back and notice it, especially on the one we just recently did, she has some watering cans that have some gorgeous sunflowers in them. So beautiful. It stands out. It looks very wonderful. I mean, it just looks great on film. But also,
what's with the sunflowers, Terry?
Also kind of lodged in, it's decoration, lodged into the sunflowers are basically cotton boll stalks. I guess
they're cotton sprigs.
Yeah, cotton sprigs. So it was so funny.
Fake cotton sprigs.
So I went and I had gotten the watering tin and I put it behind us. We don't have it here today, but I put it behind us and I start picking out the cotton sprigs. And Misty's kind of looking at me like, okay. And I was like, Misty, this girl right here, I will not be filming with some cotton sprigs with the whole cotton bowl sitting behind me.
It's all the cotton.
No. No. I'm not going to do that. So she thought it was hilarious, but for Misty, and she can kind of tell why, it's no big deal for her, and she actually has kind of an endearing remembrance in terms of cotton.
Yeah, so my family, okay, so this is going to sound awful, and I'm sorry, but when you get this far south, nobody here could afford to have somebody that they could buy to pick their cotton. So here they just had a bunch of kids. So my mother's family picked cotton because they didn't have anybody. My grandparents just had a whole slew of children. And then my husband's mom, they also had a cotton farm, and it was just her and her sisters. And again, they didn't have any hired help or any hired hands or any
slave hands.
Slaves. See, I didn't want to say that but they didn't have slaves either. Neither did my family. So to me, it's kind of a remembrance of my family thing. But to Terry, it means something totally different, which I totally get and respect. And I would never say, oh, this is my office, don't touch my stuff. I just thought it was funny. Because I know that she's not doing it out of hatred.
Right.
Or she's not trying to be mean.
Right.
Or make me feel like my opinions about it aren't valid. at all. It's just her opinion is, I don't like what this, to me, this represents something else. And even though it represents something else to me, we can mutually decide, because I do normally have them right here. There's normally cotton sticking out right there. But as you can see, there's flowers right now. I switched them before Terry got here, because otherwise she would have done it for me.
I'd have picked it out. But that's what I'm talking about. You know, being able to know somebody else, and even if you don't really know them, when you seek to understand their position on something, if they have a differing opinion,
Right.
a different experience, and that's the big thing. Ladies, we are going to have very different experiences from somebody else. Just because our experience is different, it doesn't mean we get to discount somebody else's experience, because it's just that it was their experience.
Yes, in their opinion. And so that is something that Terry and I have, oh my goodness, it drives us both insane, because I believe there are sometimes Terry will have an opinion about something, and if I sit and listen to her opinion, I then realize that maybe my opinion isn't well researched or understood. We've had that before, to where I'm like, okay, I think Terry may have a better point than me.
Or you just hadn't heard the
Or I
other
hadn't
side.
heard the other side, yes. So we've had that problem,
Like
much
both
in the
ways,
past.
Both ways.
Terry and I also don't post a bunch on Facebook about our opinions, because, again, people take opinions as fact, and they feel like their opinion is a fact, and you're not going to change it. I had a situation this weekend, or late last week, that it was late last week, that I talked to Terry about, because I needed a sounding board to know if what I said was wrong. I actually talked to my husband also, but someone had posted, with all the immigration stuff that's happening, someone had posted something on Facebook. We understand that, we're not going to get into it either, that immigration is a massive problem. I'm not saying people immigrating in is a massive problem. I'm saying our laws are massive problems. We really need to have a better plan, and because humans are humans no matter their color or where they come from, and they should be treated as such. However, she had posted some stuff. Well, my issue with it is that a lot of things that people will post on Facebook or that will irritate them are things that are years old. Now, I'm not saying that this is a year-old problem. I'm saying that this problem has been happening for decades and decades and decades and decades. They have been housed the same way for decades. They have been treated the same way for decades. We have had these issues for decades. However, it is just now being really pushed into the media because media has agenda.
Right.
Everything I posted was very respectable. I even asked my husband to double check, because I don't like ever posting to make somebody feel like their opinion is not valid. And I was sent by this person who, she's my Facebook friend, so we're really not friends. I'm very cautious who I am friends with. Terry is also the same way. Our group of friends are small because we want to know that we can trust the people that we're hanging out with.
Right.
And so she sent me a very long message that I did read to Terry, and all the things that she was accusing me of being, Terry kind of laughed, because she knows me.
Right.
She knows a lot about me. So to hear somebody say something opposite was kind of funny. But she sent it in such a way as to hurt me.
Be mean and spiteful.
Yes, she sent it. Yes, she sent it, and it was pure meanness. How it was coming out of off her fingers onto that instant message. So I told Terry I've kind of become gun shy, because there are times that I want to say something, but I know that I can't say it, and I feel like I've learned my lesson. I feel like I've learned that unless it's someone like you or someone that I have a actual friend relationship with, that I'm not going to be able to do anything like that. That if they're posting something that's not accurate or not real, because face it, people, there's a lot of fake news out there.
Correct.
And Terry has also had the same problem where she's posted about something and somebody's just led into her, or said something extremely racist that had when her post had nothing to do
With that whatsoever.
with anything racial. I mean, leave it to somebody to make Terry asking about carbs a racist issue, but they did, which is why she told me don't ever think nobody can find something in what you post.
Absolutely. One of the things we have to remember is on Facebook, we use the term friends so very loosely. I mean, I have myself 2,500 to just under 3,000.
Yeah, I don't like that many people.
Friends. And I personally don't mind, having that. To me, it gives me access to different people that I can, hear their views on. They can hear my views so I really don't mind that. But what I'm asking, specifically women, because Misty and I were just saying we don't seem to see this so much with men, but women, when somebody has an opinion that's different than yours, first, what we are asking you to do is seek to understand where they are coming from.
Right.
Just ask. So, how did you get that opinion?
Yeah. Why do you feel that way?
It doesn't. Again, you don't have to accuse them of being wrong. I've had to kind of eat crow as well because somebody had, here in the last couple of weeks had posted something. I put up a question or had some kind of comment. Somebody put something up or made a reference to a picture that was actually a photoshopped picture, and of course it had some political stuff going on with it, but I didn't realize the picture was photoshopped. I usually do very good due diligence and do my fact checking. This particular one I didn't fact check, and somebody jumped on and said, Terry, look, here's the real photo. The photo that was shared on your page, though, was a photoshopped one. And I'm really glad that person jumped in to, again, clear up the truth, because there's sometimes we just don't check like we should. So that's first lesson. Really before you post something, try to check and make sure.
Yes, know what you're posting.
And if it's something that's your opinion, again, you shouldn't be attacked for your opinion.
Yes.
Seek to understand.
That is very well said, yes.
Because a lot of times it goes back to that person may have a very different experience than you did. And again, their experience may be based on, again, something, whether it was false or a totally different circumstance. Just seek to understand. And if you don't come to an agreement, that's okay. We're grown women. I mean, we put on our panties the same way. Hopefully you all got panties, but
I was gonna say not everybody out there wearing panties.
But we all, when we do wear them, we all put them one leg at a time, like everybody else. So be able just to say, okay, Misty, I see where you're coming from. I still believe the way I believe.
Right.
And then we're grown women. Move on.
Yes.
Just be able to agree to disagree. Do so cordially and keep on with your friendship. I just don't see why we have to put, I was just sharing with Misty, we've got to put that personal dig in as women. When when somebody disagrees with us, you have to put that personal dig to get that personal hurt to be like, oh, I'm going to jug you. There's no need for that.
Right. Yeah, and no, it's true. And I think that a lot of times what happens is, and this is what I've noticed with women, because men do not do, well, not all, there are a few men that do this, but as women, we're very competitive with each other. We don't want anything to look out of the norm. But I've seen so many, I'll give you an example. I have a Facebook friend that like a year ago renewed her wedding vows. And I mean, there were pictures all over the place. I'm not even sure if we're still Facebook friends. But I mean, just all over the place. And the next thing I know, her name has changed and she's dating someone else. And it would only been like a couple months. And I'm like, which has happened. And so the one thing that I was accused of in this like long rant that I got was having a perfect family. I think that we all do that. We all only want to post the good. It's like there's two different people on Facebook. There are the people who post all of their problems, and they're the ones that you automatically put like,
let me keep on moving.
Unfollow. They can say my friend. I just don't want to see their thread. Or the one that everything is great. You know, this is me and my husband. We're phenomenal. We're fantastic. Our family is wonderful.
Everything's a bed of roses. No issues whatsoever.
But when you personally know them and you know that there's been infidelity like recently in the marriage, you know, there's this going on and this going on, but then you see, I mean, I've had women come to me want to tell me, for some reason, they just want to tell me all their problems. And they'll tell me how awful their husband is and how supportive their husband is. I'm pretty sure this probably happens with you too. And the next thing I know, like 2 days later, they're posing with a big bouquet of flowers and how wonderful their husband is. And I'm like, why you be lying on Facebook? So I think that's a lot of the thing with women is we've become so hypersensitive to stuff that we kind of we wake up in the morning and we put on this persona that everything is great and everything is wonderful, like in the little Lego movie,
right,
where everybody's singing how everything is great and everything is wonderful, and I can't remember the song, and not that I would sing it to y'all, but that's what they're doing. They're all working and doing whatever, and you know, life is great, life is wonderful, but it's really not. They were like under, you know, this dictatorship. I don't know why I'm referencing an a Lego movie, but everything is awesome. That's what it's called. Everything is awesome. See, Terry's gonna sing it for you.
No.
But I kind of get that with women, that we want to go through and be like, everything is awesome, and then we're pretending that everything is awesome at work and on Facebook and in front of certain people. You know, that when we are home or in front of Facebook and we want to put something on there, or somebody says something, my grandmother used to always say that when you get offended, it's because something in your heart is telling you something is wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like that old lady wisdom that hopefully I'll have one day.
Right.
But you know what I'm saying?
No,
like I feel like when you get offended about something, that's why I don't get offended. I mean, I don't. If somebody wants to tell me, I mean, I get the whole white privilege thing all the time. And my thing is they don't know me and they don't know my life.
Right.
They don't understand. They don't get it at all.
Right.
And that's fine. That's on them, not me. And that's fine. It's just, I'm sure that you have to deal and have in your life dealt with that stuff before. I mean, I couldn't imagine, you know, anything that you would have to endure. You know, how unsafe you may feel at times, whether you're pulled over or walking someplace at night. I mean, I can't imagine what that must feel like. But I don't have the right to kind of feel offended if you say something to me. Like if you say I don't understand, then I should just be like, okay, I don't understand.
Right.
And support her anyway.
Absolutely. So that's what we're asking women to do. We have got to learn to support one another. We have enough to deal with out there in the world.
In the world.
Than, you know, to be clawing at one another. And when you were talking about why, you know, women putting on a different kind of persona, and I was thinking in my mind, and this is just me, I'm not a psychologist or a counselor or anything like that, just kind of experiencing what I see. I think there are so many women, so when it comes to work, women, as you said, women are competitive.
Very nice.
And unfortunately, you know, we see when we go through something, you know, it may be a personal issue, whether it's a personal issue at home with a spouse, significant other, a child, or what have you. We may see it as that it's going to be perceived as a weakness. And so we don't want that put out there, because we don't want an issue put out at our job because we're afraid that Sally over there is going to go tell the boss, well, did you know Susie is going through this at home, and it looks like it's affecting her work, and she's just not as effective anymore. Because, Susie, Sally, whichever one, wants that person's job. So they're willing to kind of twist some of the truth and twist what's going on, because they want to get a leg up. I absolutely know that you've got, somebody has something going on at home, and, maybe one of the reasons they try to have everything look rosy on Facebook is, they know the minute other women get a sense of everything's not right on the home front, then they come in because they want that woman's husband, or they want that person's significant other. Yeah. And so sometimes putting on that persona that everything is great,
okay, yeah.
It's almost a defense mechanism of kind of back off my family, back off my job, or what have you. So again, I try to, doesn't make it right, but
that's a really good thing that you said that, though, because my opinion on that was these women are just trying to be fake, when your opinion on that is it's actually a defense, protective. They're trying to protect their family and their marriage, and it's a defense mechanism, and I didn't see it that way. So again, two different opinions. I kind of feel like my opinion's not all that valid anymore. It's probably a good mix of both things happening. Since you described it like that, because we don't know. I mean, we don't know what's happening.
No.
I mean, it's just I think the worst thing that we do as women is pass judgment on each other. I think that is the absolute worst thing that we do, because unless I am very close to you, I don't know all aspects of your life. I mean, Terry and I have been friends now for a couple of years, but we are constantly learning new things about each other.
Right.
Constantly. Things we didn't know. And so we're very quick to judge another woman on how she's dressed, on how she acts.
Right.
I saw a woman this morning in Target. Her children, I could hear them all over the store. They were screaming and hollering because they wanted stuff. And she was just ignoring them. My first thought was, does she need me to go volunteer to whoop her children? That was my first thought. She needs to do something about those kids. But then my second thought was, when I walked past her, because I actually ended up walking past her, she had such a look of defeat on her face. And I should have stopped her, and I should have encouraged her, and I didn't. And I regret that. I've been regretting it all day. But I know when I saw her face, I realized that who knows what is going on in her home.
Right.
I mean, she could have been looking at pricing to see what's the cheapest thing she could take home.
Right.
And purchase what was her budget. She could be single. She could be in an abusive relationship. Her husband could be out of a job. We don't know.
Right.
So I can't stand there. My first thought was, who is this terrible mother with these terrible children? And then I got a little kickback because God was like, no.
Right.
Which he does to me all day long. No. And it took me seeing her. He made sure that I got into her path and saw her, but the look of defeat on her face just broke my heart.
Right.
Because she literally looked deflated. And so we want to pass all these judgments and make all these comments and brutalize other women on Facebook, and at no point have we made an effort to know them.
Know what's going on.
To know what's going on in their lives.
Right.
So I think that's probably the takeaway that we want, is just try a little harder to try to see past what's going on with these women.
Absolutely. And just lastly, before you fire off that response on Facebook, or whatever kind of social media, or before you light into somebody, if they're on the phone or it's a text, just take 1 minute and step back and ask yourself. And even sometimes you might have to write it out before you click enter or send. Read it and just make sure, is this really the message that I want to give? Because I really may not know what experience that person is coming from or what experience that person is going through. We're
Right.
just asking you, be more thoughtful. Woman to woman, women to women, be more thoughtful and be more encouraging of one another. Just take a minute and be able to do that. So,
Yes.
again, this is Terry Moten,
And Misty Kuchka.
and we are
Empowered Women Rock.